Well, welcome back to Hyde. It's deconstruction and construction day on our 6.5 Grendel. The new barrel should be in soon. It's going to be an all stainless barrel like the last one, but the last one from BCA I went ahead and coated from the beginning. This one I won't. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is go ahead and strip our original muzzle brake. It's all stainless, polished, and will look good on the end and function well on the end of our new barrel. But when I do recoat eventually, we will coat everything all at one time, and so it all matches. So this has to go, and we have to strip it off. But fortunately, it's pretty easy to do. We take this and spray this. Now this is Brown Owl's Aluma-Hyde coating, if you remember. And all we have to do is just give this a light spray, and it'll come off here. Like my nozzle's clogged a little bit. We'll clean the nozzle and we'll come back. There we go. Now it's working better and we can spray our part. So we'll just give this a light coat of this foaming stripper, this Jasco foaming stripper you can get from the Home Depot. And it will take this coating off really, really well. So we'll just give that a few minutes to work, and then it'll all peel off and we'll be ready to just rinse this off, and then we'll be able to install onto the new barrel. I probably should have done a time-lapse video for you, but it wouldn't even have mattered. This is less than a minute later, and you can see just how well that stripper is removing the coating. I mean, it's coming off, just bubbling up, coming off really, really fast. And there you can see then our original muzzle brake metal finish underneath there. And so, yeah, this stuff works really good. Takes Aluma-Hyde off without any issues. And so we'll finish this up, and then we'll have it all ready to install on a new barrel. Just the next steps in changing over our barrel. Our muzzle brake now is all nice and clean. The Jasco stripper did a really good job, so that's good. And it'll be ready to go on our new barrel. So now we got to remove the tanker style muzzle brake. Now this is about twice the weight of the one you just saw. And we're using that for harmonics testing. So we remove it, and if we need to, we'll put it on the new rifle. But for right now, I'll plan on the other one. Well, once we remove that, then we'll remove the handguard, we'll remove the gas system, gas block, gas tube, and then we'll take our barrel nut off and remove our barrel and prepare for putting the new one in. Now, if you remember, this was bedded, so we got to remove the Loctite in here. So I may need a little bit of heat. Should come out pretty good. It's not a high temperature Loctite. We'll clean it all up, make sure it's perfect, and then we'll install our new barrel. Alright, now our new barrel has arrived. And so let's go ahead and do an unboxing and just see how it looks, how it's packaged. And we'll cut this thing open and take a look at it, how it comes from Wilson. I've had their barrels in the past, but perhaps you haven't seen this and see how their packaging is done. I really like it because I've had some shipped to me in paper wrapping barrels. But these they tend to bubble wrap, and then they put inside of a sort of a safety tube as well, and then each end is captured so it's suspended. It can beat around a little bit and not hurt the barrel at all. So I'm really happy with how they arrived. I've never had an issue. This is the third barrel personally and fourth barrel that I've worked with from them, and so they've all been really good. So you can see here then, this is how the barrel comes out of the tube, and then you have a cap over the muzzle threads, and then you have, of course, the breech end here protected as well. So we're going to go ahead and just clean up there's light machining oil on here, just protecting oil maybe on that. We're going to go ahead and just clean that up, clean the bore out, install our gas block, and then we'll put it back onto our rifle. Alright, our rifle's back together. We have bedded with blue Loctite our barrel into our receiver, because that had been lapped and trued and all that before, if you see in the previous video. So we went ahead and did that again. It came out pretty nice, but it definitely, sealed it up, and that was a nice tight fit, so that's good. Worked out well. Installed the Wilson Combat gas block made for this barrel because it was a bigger diameter than was the BCA barrel. It is a 22-inch Wilson Combat Super Sniper barrel. And so the interesting thing about this, of course, it's 2 inches longer. Our BCA barrel was 20 inches, but the BCA barrel was 51.7 ounces, and this is 52. Now the BCA barrel wasn't fluted, and this one is. But they've done a good job at managing the weight. So even though it's 2 inches longer, 3/10 of an ounce won't matter at all. So that's good. Everything's ready to go.
to the range. The only thing I will have to redo will be this crush washer here. The only one I had that would fit this is a bit too thick, and it doesn't want to crush properly like the ones that were on it, so I have to get another one. But anyway, it's clocked in a position and tight, but it's about a 12-30 position, so it's slightly off. Not a big deal. We'll fix that later. In the meantime, though, we'll be able to shoot. So now we got to load ammo. And so I'm going to go back and load previous ammo that we've already tested so we can have a head-to-head. But also load 30 rounds of just a standard charge so we can break our barrel in. And we'll go through what Wilson recommends, Wilson Combat recommends, and we will break in the barrel. And then we'll do that properly. And after that, we'll have a good cleaning of it. And then we'll start into our load development again. Hopefully, much better results. We're going to get a little higher velocity with 2 inches more on the barrel. That's good. And we'll have to manage that carefully on the top end. But anyway, we'll start loading some ammo, and I'll see you at the range. All right, just a couple of shots of the rifle. It was really busy at the range, so shooting beside the rifle and filming there was going to be just really annoying. So I put a downrange camera. You'll see the shots hitting the target here just after this short segment. This is a view, of course, of the rifle and the setup of the lab radar, and the new 22-inch Super Sniper 6.5 Grendel barrel from Wilson Combat. Really looks good on the gun. Sticks out, obviously a little farther than it did before. And may just leave it that way. We'll see. I may coat it in the end to match like we did the original BCA. But anyway, I thought you might like to see this. And now let's see the target. Back into the range, so we take a quick look at our brass. The left-hand 5 rows here are varmint, going from 26.8 up to 28 grains, and there really is no issue, no ejector smears or swipes or burrs or anything, and then all the primers are perfectly good and rounded, and really no issue. Well, second 5 then is our 82.8 XBR loads, and they went from 25 up to a max of 26.3, which is the Hornady maximum recommended limit here as well. And if you look, well, really there's nothing to see here either. There's only one case that even might have a slightest indication of a ejector swipe here, but it's so light I can't say it hasn't come from a previous firing. So really everything looks good, all the primers look good, and that's a big change, because when I shot this load before in the BCA barrel, we definitely saw ejector smears, and so perhaps that was an indication of the difference in the chambers. Maybe the BCA was a little bit rougher, harder to extract or something. It's hard to say, but there was definitely a difference between the two. rifles. But good news is nothing we did here there was any initial signs of pressure anyway, and everything was good. So let's take a look now at our target. All right, here's our target. Now, this is only the top row. The first row we shot was varmint. If you had seen the video, the green big targets down there, those were the first 35 rounds fired through the gun we used to break it in with. And then we went to our varmint loads to try to sort of see how accurate we're going to get. The gun's still breaking in, of course, but we get some indication of it. So they were started here at 27.1 grains, and I'll have all the details on this target here just after this segment. But they started at 27.1 grains. We ended at 28 here. And this is the same then target we shot before with the BCA barrel. So direct powder charges, loads, everything's duplicated except Wilson Combat versus BCA. Now, if you see the very first shot I fired here, we had one go flying up. And so what that is, who knows, with a new gun breaking in. But we start to see a pretty good trend. Things getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And so, yeah, not too bad. Now, this, by the way, was the target we did where we hand-loaded the cartridges. And so, yeah, we even tried to get the best the BCA could do. Well, in general, you can just see the trend here, then, that we are doing better in pretty much every instance with the exception of this target. When we got up to 28 grains on the Wilson Combat, it just clearly did not like that. We hit a transition. I think we might have been hitting one here as we came up, because we started to climb maybe a little and had one go up, and then these are definitely starting to open up and scatter. So just maybe one thing, the 130 grain ELDs and that barrel and that powder didn't work out so good, but overall not too bad here. I mean, we had all of these were in general better than anything we had gotten in the BCA. Now that's a bit of a statement because we had some of these open up like this one here, but if you see the average, I want to show you the 82.8 next. It really is quite a bit better. So let me take this off, and then we'll look at the entire target for the Wilson Combat barrel. All right, here's our first 35 rounds, and you see, in general, not too bad out of a gun that had seen no rounds at all, other than the test firing down at Wilson factory before they leave. But not bad. Not bad, not great, but not bad. You see some of them already trying to group here, but we still have some flyers and things to be expected, I think, out of a new barrel. Well, get that out of the way. Now we take a look at, here's our, after we did those 35 rounds, we just continued firing, because I thought we'd do a break-in procedure, but on Wilson's site they said basically, as I read and understood it, they basically said, well, we've polished these things, there really is no reason to go through another break-in procedure, especially one with an abrasive. Just shoot it. And so that's what we did. We just continued shooting. Now, I haven't cleaned it. Before next time we go through, I'll probably just clean out the carbon. I will not clean out the copper. And we'll continue shooting and see how we go. But anyway, so you see here one of the early rounds went flying up, but otherwise, that's not so bad. And then here we have 5 grouping in that area as well. And, we start to see groups that are trending well, especially off a brand new rifle here. Because this one, and I'll show these numbers at the end, but this is like 1.3 MOA, 1.4, 1.45, and then this one opened up to 2.47. We had one fly over here. Well, okay, so that's it's a new barrel and new combination, and I can't say that the varmint and the 130 grain bullet really shoots that well anyway, because the previous target you saw, the BCA, just shot poorly with it too. But in general, they're better. Okay, so that's a positive trend. Then we get to 82.8 XBR. Now that's our lowest powder charge here at 25 grains, and so perhaps there's a velocity node here that will make this more accurate, because then we switch here and things open up. Then we switch here and it tightens up a bit, tightens up again, and then we open up again with a little bit of vertical stringing. But the numbers are a lot better. Again now, so we had 35 rounds, and we go 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. At 70 rounds, and from 66 to 70 rounds, we drop in a 6.83 MOA. Now I'll show all these numbers at the end right after this segment here, but so it's starting to get a lot better. Now this one now opened up to about, I think it was 1.8 or so MOA, 1.1 here, so better, and then we drop in with a 0.77 MOA again, and then finally at 1.35. So
we have hit 80 rounds to this point, and we already have 2 sub MOA, in fact more than 2 sub MOAs. Let's see, I'm sorry, I am correct. 2 sub MOAs and 1 sub 0.7 MOA targets. And so I think that's really good to start off with, especially with the bullet and powder combinations that we hadn't seen such great performance with. So next step with that, we'll start going into some smaller weight bullets, into the 120s, 123s, things like that. I still have the AMAX bullets to shoot. Now those are 135s, but we'll wait till the gun's a little more broken in and working like that. But so far, really happy with our initial results of a Wilson Combat 22-inch Super Sniper 6.5 Grendel barrel.